Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Hold on. I want to try to fix this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's definitely been a long time since I've got to do content like this. And, of course, it's not all that professional like it was before because I still have to work on a bunch of updates for in terms of the live chat segments. But anyways, how's everybody doing? And welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you guys are having a tremendous day. Yeah, I just want to give everybody a quick update as to why I haven't been posting a whole lot of content on the channel in the past. Well, it's because I've been busy with work at UPS literally every night, and because of that, I barely get much sleep because I'm working third shift, right? And it could be pretty exhausting and quite difficult for me to be able to have the energy to focus on making content. And I'm doing the best I can trying to balance that up as much as possible in terms of live streaming and posting videos. And there will definitely be some more content in the future, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, I want to break down some updates of what is going on Twitch. Apparently, the Twitch streamer Mork is once again had decided to sexualize the platform. Yet again, tried to promote her OnlyFans page, and in doing so by green screening her booty right in front of the camera with gameplay footage playing right under the butt. And because Twitch and Amazon had picked up on that, they were not very pleased with what was happening, so they had to release a new policy that would prohibit her and other content creators from doing that. Look, I don't have anything against OnlyFans models entirely. I get that it's quite a struggle in terms of trying to make money, in terms of inflation, but people, Twitch is a platform that was marketed for live stream gaming for teenagers to adults. And yet, a lot of these gals from OnlyFans just want to promote their channels in the hopes that they'll get more subscribers for their OnlyFans page. Sadly, because they couldn't even get themselves a real job because of the line of work that they were getting themselves involved in. And it doesn't surprise me one bit. Like, because of that very reasoning, we're seeing quite a whole lot of these men and women from the platform in terms of OnlyFans that are becoming more and more like vultures, to say the very least. I mean, if they wanted to make more money, they could have just done something that's a little more productive for themselves. Like in terms of getting a regular job where they would just have to make a burrito or deliver a pizza or flip a burger. Like, if, say the very least that my current job didn't work out so well for me, either one of those things that would have had been my go-to career choices in terms of trying to make income. And however, you see most of those people on the platform that are doing so just for the sole purpose to become famous because they are in desperate need to seek a lot of attention from society, even through social media. Like, they literally just wanted to become the next Kim Kardashian, to say the very least, which I would have to say that I pass the blame on entirely in terms of what the problem is in our modern society. And the reason why I bring that up because it has a whole lot to do with the people in the gaming community that are now being infected by this, especially young underage children that are now being exposed to this filth. And of course, you guys are likely not going to be seeing me do any of those things, rest assured. No, because otherwise, if I did, then I would definitely be losing my job 100%. And a whole lot of these people from the site are simply just asking themselves to say, go woke, go broke. I mean, that's literally the headlines that you see every single day on the news and social media in terms of all this insanity that is going on. And I did a poll on my YouTube channel in the community section not too long ago, making a poll questioning people on which platforms they'll likely see, or what platforms do they think could be next on the chopping block in terms of going out of business. And a lot of folks are saying Twitch could definitely be next on the radar. Am I surprised by that result? Absolutely not, because not only do they have this whole mess that has been going on Twitch for quite some time now, but clearly the whole platform on Twitch had been pretty biased against conservative gamers for quite some time now, and I was one of those people that got affected by it. And I remember back when I was streaming on Twitch, I said this many times, back when I was streaming on Twitch, I remember seeing a couple of people join in the chat when I was playing a specific video game. I can't remember which title specifically, but I've had some people tuning in and commenting about some personal topics that they pretty much should have kept to themselves in terms of certain cosmetic procedures and gender affirming care, and they've done so while there were kids that were watching my live stream gameplay, and I was not very pleased with the disrespect that that my platform had received on Twitch. And I do not simply wish for anybody's child to be exposed to that. Like, no kid should ever be exposed to that. And I would never tolerate with that kind of behavior on my watch. Whether if I'm doing it on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, whatever. I mean, not that I've ever made content on Rumble, but that's something that I'm definitely looking for, that I'm looking into seeing that I might do in the future. I mean, the only thing that I have to do is just set up a payment method with PayPal, and then after that, I could just pretty much go about selecting which contract that I want to select in terms of how I want to produce and making my income, and how I want to go about licensing my content. And that's pretty much the thing that is skyrocketing nowadays. Like, conservatives are basically... Oh, damn. So it's been like 4 years now? 4 or 8? Dang. Yeah, it's definitely been a while since I've seen you, Easy E. Welcome back. Yeah, I still have been playing a whole lot of Fortnite on camera and off camera as much as I could. Where did I go? I'm still making content on YouTube, but although, as I was saying, I quit Twitch a long time ago because of the whole insanity that has been going on the platform. Not just with how woke the platform has gotten, but in terms of how sexualized that Twitch is becoming every single day. Like, you see so many of those OnlyFans model swooping right into the platform in terms of trying to make it into a whole nother OnlyFans and Pornhub, and it's very sickening. I play Call of Duty. Yeah. I don't play Call of Duty. No. I still play Fortnite. I used to play Dead by Daylight, but then I stopped playing that because it has become a more and more of a broken game. And I have been playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I just recently bought Black Desert, which is on sale right now. been trying to get invested into playing other multiplayer games just to meet new people. Oh, I see. Never heard of that. Mm. Yeah, but again, I'm still pretty much experimenting in terms of exploring different multiplayer games to see which ones specifically suit my tastes in terms of storytelling, character customization, gameplay, and the community, just so that I could get used to the whole specs and environment in terms of playing these games. Yes, Deadpool is still my favorite. In fact, I still have been maining him for quite a long time since day one after I got him. And on top of that, I also have been unlocking so many other Marvel skins, and the only one that I didn't get yet is Eddie Brock. I'm still waiting for him to return, by the way, Epic Games. Yeah, but yeah. Like, I'm trying my very best to keep up with the content as best as possible. If I'm not too tired from work, or that I'm not busy trying to get some rest before heading over to work, that sort of thing. Yeah, I did had some thoughts about returning to Twitch, but then when I saw the whole new meta trending all over the platform, I was kind of pissed to see how the platform was turning out in terms of how they allowed this to happen. And as of no surprise, quite a few gamers started boycotting the platform as they began to leave the platform to find some other source to do their content, which I don't blame them 100%. Like, it used to be a whole platform for live stream gaming, but sadly that is not the case anymore because it has become more and more politicized in terms of the woke ideology. And then you see these OnlyFans models that join the platform in terms of trying to promote their OnlyFans pages, and the platform itself just got completely more decimated because of that. Like, they're just simply asking for the whole Bud Light treatment. Except this had nothing to do with gender neutrality at all. This has a whole lot to do with the sexualization on a platform that was marketed for live stream gaming for gamers 13-year-olds and up. It's beyond insanity. And I asked myself, would I ever still consider the idea of returning to the platform in spite of that? In the past, I said I was not going to return to the platform because of what happened. But because of these new policies that are being released very recently because of what happened, I might have some second thoughts somewhere down the lane in terms of making a return to Twitch. I don't know, but we'll just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. And I do have some thoughts of it actually making content on Rumble as well, in terms of a second platform, maybe even a third if it's going to be something that I might consider doing. Because I've spoken with a couple of people that I've been following on YouTube for a long time, and I had some thoughts about if I ever did grow on YouTube, or say the very least if I had so many followers on my YouTube page right about now, I would definitely consider the idea of launching a whole new gaming community, one of which of what Rooster Teeth used to be before they went completely woke and very politicized, that got their whole entire business shut down. maybe that is something that I might consider the idea of doing someday. But that would all have to depend on who else would be on board with this. Like, I don't know if this is something that Overrays Gamer or whoever might be invested in doing with me. Maybe not under the Vancov name, maybe not under the Overrays Gamer name, but maybe something entirely different. But maybe something that could potentially be the anti-woke version of Rooster Teeth. Would I go to Kick? I don't know. Like, I guess that it would hold. I had thought about Kick, but I'm not exactly quite 100% sure about that, but I might take that to consideration. I don't know. I guess it would all depend on the results, because I want to see how the environment is like on the platform. Because you have to remember there's going to be some quite toxicity somewhere down the way. But to say the very least, if I wanted to start a whole new community that would be the next Rooster Teeth, I would just simply go about doing what Rooster Teeth itself had failed to do, like expanding their entire platform, their entire community, which they could have done, like launching their platform on Kick, launching their platform on Rumble, or wherever else that they could have received more income from. But instead, they were pretty much anti-conservative because of the reasons why they don't want to expand the business, but instead they sold their entire company to these other mega corporations, which led them to their ultimate demise. Yeah, and I did watch Red versus Blue, and I did watch Camp, and I was pretty much entertained by those shows. In spite of some number of their episodes in Camp that was completely woke. I mean, there was an episode where they started talking about climate change and warning their audiences about climate change, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you choose to go about making entertainment for your audiences, you want to make content that does not involve around real world issues. Like, you have to provide escapism, which they used to do back in the early 2000s when Red versus Blue had launched. And everybody was raving mad and crazy over Red versus Blue back in the days. Although I was never a part of that community, nor did I ever had any experiences of watching Red versus Blue when I was a kid. Although that is something that I am definitely tuning into right now on Tubi, which you guys can watch right now if you guys have Tubi. But the bottom line is, because of the demise that Rooster Teeth had gotten themselves into, the whole community is completely dead because of the choices that they've made. You have to remember, if you go about starting a gaming community, you have to remember that not just your customer base in the community, in terms of gaming, you're also going to have some people that will be joining your team in terms of employment, whether if they're Republican, whether if they're Democrat, whether if they supported Donald Trump, whether they've supported Joe Biden, whether if they are more focused on the gender neutrality, whether if they're not supportive of that, you're likely to get those people joining your company. And for you to become one-sided instead of being all neutral, that got decimated years later because of that. And they've even fired a former corporate CEO from Rooster Teeth because he was a Trump voter. And that goes to show that where they stood in terms of the political spectrum. Though they should have been neutral. Again, they should have remained a neutral business, but instead they chose to decimate quite a few of their people because of their political views. And that was not a really good image for Rooster Teeth. If I was a corporate CEO who is running a community, one of which that is pretty similar to Rooster Teeth, it wouldn't really matter to me what the person's political standpoints is, because all that really matters to me is that can they produce really good content? Are they capable of actually getting the job done? Will they be able to compose themselves in terms of keeping their personal lives outside of the business? But instead, it was pretty much over for Rooster Teeth. It really was. So it was their fault. So, in terms of in the hopes of making a gaming community that would considerably be the next Rooster Teeth somewhere down the line, I think that now seeing that Rooster Teeth has now become the new poster boy of what gaming communities should never do in the future, that is something that we should all learn from based upon their mistakes that they've made in the past. I mean, I'm not sure if that's something that I'll be able to do someday, but that would all have to depend on if I could get other content creators to band together with me and make this happen. Not under my channel, not on their channels, but on a whole brand new name. Entirely. Something that will be big and include all other content creators that would band together on only one platform. And we would have to do that anyways. Because that was exactly what made Rooster Teeth very successful. Not just because it was one channel, but they had several other channels under the Rooster Teeth brand. Like the Let's Play series, the Achievement Hunter, and of course they had the No, which eventually got scrapped and replaced into a whole different name. But that'll be something that I think that I would like to do someday if I can make it possible. And again, we would have to learn from the mistakes that was made by Rooster Teeth after all these years, after they became one-sided. And if I choose to go about expanding my current channel right now, the Vamcove channel, I would have to consider the idea of whether or not I should ever go back into doing Twitch again. Maybe start a platform on Rumble. Maybe start a platform on Kick. Who knows? It depends on where the audience will be and how I will go about expanding the name. And I would like to see the channel grow because I would like to start making all this more possible and release a whole new generation of an entire gaming community, one of which of what Rooster Teeth used to be. And as far as by hiring in some former Rooster Teeth cast members, I'm not exactly quite sure, unless if they unless that they could just keep to themselves about their political standpoints and not be so anti-Trump 24/7 or anti-Biden 100%, while that platform would just be an entire community that is based upon gaming and entertainment. It would all have to depend on how the situation goes. Like, we just had to start bringing back a normalcy in our society, and we need to start making these gaming communities a gaming community again. Not trying to sound like Donald Trump for some of those who don't support him, but again, we need to start making content that is more focused on gaming again, and keep all political standpoints and real life problems outside of the platform. 100%. Because this is not the Daily Wire. This is not Fox News. This is not CNN. No. We're just individuals that really want to gatekeep what should be kept outside of the gaming community and what should be kept within the gaming community. And IGN used to be one heck of the entertainment source for so many gamers because of their review points, their comments about specific video games that would release in stores, both locally and online. And for some of the greatest games that have been released, they would lie to their audience saying, like, for instance, Hogwarts Legacy is one of the worst titles that they've ever experienced because it wasn't so diverse and inclusive enough. But that game has nothing to do with diversity and equity and inclusion or gender neutrality. No, this is all about the magical world of Hogwarts, and its entirety surrounding the game was supposed to be focusing on making a video game that would please the Harry Potter fans, and the studio had done that successfully well. And I was even happy that they were successful with that game, and that felt like something that I would definitely consider the idea of investing my time in when I'm not too busy, and maybe something that I would like to bring onto my YouTube channel or whatever else, to say the very least. But sadly, because of all the insanity that is going on in the world, people are being extremely biased over a video game, and one of the content creators that was being decimated all over the internet because of their choices of playing Hogwarts Legacy was none other than Joey Graceffa, a famous YouTuber who streams on Twitch, who decided to live stream himself playing Hogwarts Legacy. And I remember seeing the comments pouring in, bashing against the content creator himself. And I was just sitting right in front of my phone, in front of a computer, defending the guy. And I was like, hey, leave the guy alone. This is his channel. He can do whatever he wants. And if he wants to play this game, that's his choice. Like, what is it any of your guys' business in terms of what video games he plays? And plus, nowadays, you're seeing so many classic video games getting remastered for the first time in decades. And most of those games, including Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're now receiving trigger warnings when you start up a game, which is crazy. Like, what is so triggering about a video game that was released back in the 90s during the PlayStation 1 days? Like, it's crazy. Like, this was how video games were made back in the days. Like, what do you even expect? A lot of you folks had simply asked it for Tomb Raider to return in some shape or form of a remaster, and we got it, and yet you guys are triggered by it. I mean, it's stupid is what it is. Like, imagine if they did this with Final Fantasy 13 for PS5 or PS6 someday. I would not be surprised if somebody would stoop to that level and post a trigger warning on that series, because somebody would find it very offensive for some weird, ridiculous reason. Like, Final Fantasy 13 was one of the original launch titles of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox One. Not the Xbox One. The Xbox 360. Excuse me. And I'm sorry, I'm just really losing my mind over this. Like, I'm trying my very best to keep the channel more focused on it gaming as possible, and then you got these insane individuals that would stoop to that level and decimate us because either the game or the content creator is not so diverse or inclusive. No, like, this is not a political channel, this is a gaming channel. And I say this to people, if you guys don't enjoy the content that I do here, then go somewhere else. Go subscribe to a whole different content creator if that will make you happy. Like, what's wrong with you people? And how's it going, Chad? Welcome to the stream. I've been doing alright. Just going over with some things in terms of Twitch, Rooster Teeth, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Which, again, because of all that insanity and the deception that was being said in mainstream gaming and entertainment, more and more of these communities are being decimated, and Rooster Teeth became that example, and who knows what the future may hold for IGN or Twitch somewhere down the way. Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point. Just like every video game that we see in the store, or every video game that is out into the market, or that we see Let's Play videos of. If you don't like the game, don't freaking play it. It's really that simple. It's not rocket science. But no, you just simply had to put in a trigger warning on these classic titles, especially with Tomb Raider. Like, it's literally the South Park special every single day. Like, put a chick in it and make her gay. Like, that's the reality that we're all living in the gaming community nowadays. And again, if I do decide that I want to launch a whole gaming community that would be considered the next Rooster Teeth, one of which of what Rooster Teeth used to be like, I would simply learn from their mistakes and not repeat it. Alright, Chad, thanks for stopping in. Oh, and welcome to the stream, by the way, Nutty Nug. In case if I haven't said it already. But again, it would all have to depend on how many people would be on board with this idea in terms of building this gaming community from the ground up, and in the hopes to actually accomplish something that what Rooster Teeth used to do back in the days. That is something that I would like to make happen. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do have some games in store that I am planning on doing for the channel. Like, hold on, let me go get those titles real quick. Okay. So another reason why you guys haven't been seeing me do some content on the channel for quite a long time is because I have been working on a number of projects in terms of future Let's Play series. And right now I'm currently working on SOCOM 3 US Navy SEALs, which is, as you can see here, a classic PlayStation 2 title, which I haven't played in years until now. And according to the save data on my PS2 memory card, the last time I've ever played this game was back in 2011 or 2012, one of the two. But it's been over a decade since I last played the game, and I just got done playing it the first 2 episodes, plus the training mission, which I had to go over again. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing more missions somewhere down the way as I'm making content. And the second game that I'm working on right now is The Matrix Path of Neo, another classic that has been long forgotten for quite a long time, which is one of those movie tie-in video games that was released years after the films. And trust me when I say this, Path of Neo is a much better title than Enter the Matrix, and it was definitely well received by critics in the gaming community. Hey Wes, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, and I can't wait to upload the videos when I'm finished. Yeah, SOCOM 3 was one of the titles that I wanted to do last year during the 4th of July of Independence Day, but sadly never got around to doing it. And I'm now finally stepping right into the game again and making videos for it. Don't know who that is. Yeah, I have been doing vlogs. In fact, I just posted a video not too long ago discussing about the shortages of the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controllers. Hold on. This baby right here. Yeah, the argument was that there is a worldwide shortages of the stick modules. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, the stick modules are the replaceable joysticks that you could buy for $20 for your DualSense Edge Pro controller for the PS5. You take this out if the joystick is drifting. You get a new one for $20 in stores. Stick it in, and it'll work good as new. But sadly, you can't get those in stores right now because they're completely sold out. And the only way to buy a replacement is by spending a major lump amount of money from third-party sellers, whether if it's on Amazon or eBay or wherever else. And no one else was even making videos and having these discussions about it. This channel is the only platform that brought that subject up. Not even IGN is even making stories about this situation. And it's crazy. Yeah, the only other way to actually get a replacement is buy a whole nother controller, which I'm not going to do, by the way, because these things actually cost like a lump of $200 just to buy a whole DualSense Edge controller. But the major breaking point of buying these controllers was the replaceable joysticks. And that was a much better choice versus having to spend $60 on a whole new controller. God forbid if a single player were to experience a stick drift, which is the major drawback for so many gamers. Why is PlayStation? That's because PlayStation has been around in the gaming industries for so many years, and they've had so many great titles over the years, especially with some certain titles that you couldn't get, like Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider. Although they have been re-releasing the original Tomb Raider games years later for the Xbox, but however, the bottom line is that there's some specific features that some gamers will likely be able to compare from the PlayStation versus the Xbox. So, like the vibration functions on the trigger buttons, and what else? I'm trying to think of another reason why PlayStation is the best over Xbox. I mean, the bottom line is they pretty much have always had some really good titles over the years, back in the days, in terms of Tekken, Jak and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot. I know I've already said that. My all-time favorite game would definitely be Kingdom Hearts 2 and Jak 2. And why those two choices? It's because there is some fun and joy somewhere down the line in terms of some specific gameplay aspects in terms of storytelling, but however, somewhere down the line, they do have some dark vibe somewhere down the way as you go about exploring through the game, and as you go more and more further with the story, and the soundtracks were even memorable, 100%. Clowns of War. Yeah, God of War is definitely a good title too. And also another reason why I would prefer PlayStation over Xbox is the fact that there were so many exclusive content that you could get that you couldn't get your hands on in terms of an Xbox, like certain cosmetics that you can get for free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. In fact, I have like just about almost half of the cosmetics that they released for free from the PlayStation store that you could get for Fortnite, that for some reason Xbox doesn't have. Yeah, I have had some folks tuning in on Kingdom Hearts as a reminder of what Disney used to be back in the days. Like, can't say I really blame them. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the PS5 if you guys haven't had the chance to experience PlayStation for the first time. I would definitely recommend getting PlayStation. And then, of course, you have to remember there are some specific graphics comparison between PlayStation and Xbox that you got to remember too, and how well the games are performed. And oh, and plus, if I remember correctly, the Avengers, which was released by Square Enix, the PlayStation 4 and 5 version of the Avengers was literally the only version that you could get Spider-Man in the game, which is unlockable if you play the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 version of the Avengers. Yeah, same here. And of course, I got the Nintendo Switch as well, so that I could play specific games on the go, including Fortnite. I mean, if you're like me, if you want to go about having more than one console, more power to you. But I would definitely recommend the PlayStation 100%. Oh, and plus you got the Silent Hill games too, which is another classic that you couldn't get from Xbox, except for Silent Hill 4 and further on if you're lucky. I've never heard of that game, but that looks really interesting. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 was definitely a really good generation for gaming, 100%. And then Xbox released their first console somewhere down the line into the future, years after that. Which I think was a year or two. I don't know. I can't remember. I would have to watch the documentary again or watch a video about it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the PlayStation 100%. Especially if you're a Fortnite player just like me, that you want to get the chance to get exclusive content that you couldn't get from the Xbox. I mean, it just seems like that brand is always getting the most out of it in terms of specific release content versus the Xbox. Although I did see that there had been some moments where the Xbox has been performing very well, but again, there are some specific specs that the PlayStation 5 has that Xbox Series X and S doesn't. Like, as I said earlier, the trigger buttons right here, they do vibrate other than the entire controller as you're pressing these buttons. I mean, I don't know if that is something that you guys would be into, but I simply had no problem with the controller overall, and it was definitely an immersive experience playing the PS5. I did not know that they were making a movie about it, but they did say something about making a new interactive video game for the PS5 as somewhere down the way. From what I've heard. I mean, that's all I know. Yeah, I'm not so sure about Xbox entirely 100% because I haven't always played Xbox, but I do remember back in the day after the Spider-Man movie released it, they did release a video game that was based off of the film, and the Xbox version included a specific mission and villain that was never included in the GameCube and PS2 versions. And yeah, I did see some gameplay footages of that specific level, and I think the bonus level that you get that only Xbox players can get at the time was Craven. I mean, again, it was years ago, back in the days, but yeah, that's how gaming was like back then, and that was how they were trying to get more people to buy in their consoles. Yeah, same here. I went from Nintendo 64 to PlayStation 2, and then further on, I kept on getting into PlayStation, so on and so forth after that. I'll have to look that up because I didn't hear about a movie. Yeah, I also got the Wii U as well because of the fact that it's reverse compatible with the Wii games. Which is another thing, really, because there are specific games that haven't been virtually released for Nintendo Switch yet, like Donkey Kong 64, for an example. And I'm still waiting to hear to see it when the heck that game is ever going to be released for Nintendo Switch, because that's something that I would definitely like to revisit someday. And it's definitely one of the classic titles that I played years ago during the Nintendo 64 days. And again, it's something that I would definitely like to revisit years later. And I definitely see that possibly happening. Like, we finally got GoldenEye 007 released for the first time in years after it was originally released on the Nintendo 64. Although so many people have their issues about the gameplay mechanics, but if you try to remap specific buttons and try to go about fiddling with it just to suit your needs in terms of gameplay, you might actually like it, and you might actually enjoy GoldenEye 007 on Switch. You just gotta fiddle with it and remap specific buttons just to suit your needs. 100%. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been up to in terms of making content. Trying to get some gameplay videos recorded for SOCOM 3 and The Matrix. And hopefully I will work on getting some other content done somewhere down the way. And also, I do also would like to announce that I will also be posting videos in terms of Fortnite talk conversations, in terms of conversations about what skins might come and which celebrity collaborations might join the game series somewhere down the way, and what we might see somewhere down the road in terms of Fortnite. So definitely look forward to that in the future. In fact, there was a conversation going on surrounding Taylor Swift possibly coming to Fortnite, and I'm definitely looking forward to making videos having a discussion about that. I mean, I don't know if that's something that players will be invested in terms of Fortnite, but I do have a brother that has a girlfriend that is a die-hard Taylor Swift fan, and I would not be surprised to see if Taylor Swift fans would immediately get into Fortnite because of the singer. I mean, personally, I don't see that happening, but I possibly do see Ariana Grande and whatever other celebrities that collaborated with Fortnite in the past make a return to Fortnite in terms of Fortnite festival down the way, now that their songs are coming into the item shop for the first time. So I think that is something that they should be invested in, not just with Ariana Grande. Again, some other singers that were brought into the game. Although I'm not so sure about Travis Scott on the other hand, but maybe it's something that they would definitely be considering and doing somewhere down the road. And another subject that I would want to talk about in terms of making those types of videos is the discussions about Ghostface and the DC superhero Robin coming into the game, which is something that I think that some folks might be invested in having a discussion about. And Hopefully we'll someday see those characters be brought to Fortnite somewhere down the way. I hope it does. I don't know if you guys would want to see those characters brought into the game, because I know I would want to see those characters brought into the game. But yeah, maybe those are the conversations that we should be having in terms of Fortnite. Alright, so that is going to be it for this live chat. So thank you guys for tuning in. Big shout out to you all. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. It's definitely been a while since I've made content like this, and hopefully we'll have this discussion again. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, I'll catch you guys later.